Welcome back to Thrift Store Horde Season 2 and our third episode as we make the loop again around this year. And of course, Jason here. I'm joined by Kevin.
Hello.
Hi, Kevin. Of course, Kevin is here and Adam is here. Hey, Adam.
Hey, hey.
So, pretty epic weekend I want to tell you guys about, but what's your experience been like lately there, Kevin?
Poor timing, I'll say. So last Friday, I had to drive for work. We delivered to all the libraries too, and the regular person was out and the backup was out. So I'm back up to the backup. So I had to drive, and on Friday at about 10 o'clock, I'm thinking, why can't I get down this road? This is like a town of 4,000 people, if that. Like, why can I not get down this road? Oh, because it was the antique sale weekend with like hundreds, if not thousands, of vendors and food trucks and people just letting their lawns get tore up to let people park there for $5 a vehicle. I couldn't stop because I had to work.
Oh,
so man, I'm just looking around and just rows and rows in every direction. People setting up like their white, the white canopy tents and all that stuff, and like people hardcore with it that got their RV parked right next to it, and they're just going to camp out there and sell all their crap.
Wow!
So I'm already planning on taking that day off next year, though.
Nice, an antique festival.
It was huge. So many people. I've never seen so much.
What about you, Adam? How's your hunting been?
Well, did a little bit of traveling here at the end of the summer, so I was able to hit up some new thrift stores that I hadn't been to before. So that was kind of my biggest excitement, is going to new places and be like, ooh, what do we have here? So I found some interesting out-of-town items.
Okay. Yeah, so our experience Saturday, we went to Prattville, which is about 15 minutes north of us, and we have typically 4 stores that we stop at, or 4 thrift places. There's a Goodwill, there's an America's Thrift, there's 2 antique malls, and another thrift store. So there's usually 5 that we'll hit in that little trek, and we take that maybe once a month. Found a new store, well, new to us, and had incredible prices. All their VHS, all their books were $0.25.
Nice.
And I just went crazy. But one of the things that I did find at where did I find it? I think it was at Goodwill. Is this wonderful VHS display case here? I'm going to do my best Vanna White. Found this for $1. It's got the grooves in there, so you can actually go this way with it, vertically, and do your VHS tapes this way. But I thought, since my wife is letting me put stuff on the wall here, like this wonderful Mad Balls display, I can do some fun stuff. I got, Tommy and the Order of Comic Champions. Y'all have seen the ads. I mean, they're everywhere. That's coming in October, and I got a promo pack to show off soon. But so now I got all this stuff behind me. But I thought I would go first, since it is back here. And what I did was preload all of my tapes that I found this week or this month up here, and I'll show them off to you one by one. So here we go. We've got for Chad the basketball outrageous shots and hilarious bloopers, new for 1996. So that was going to be
that's fun.
Yeah. This cover just stood out to me. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
This is
That's like the same artist, Sports Illustrated for kids and stuff.
Yeah. Show me the bloopers, Major League Baseball funnies. So that was 1997 when that one came out. This one's going to be for me. I found Madison Square Garden's all-time greatest basketball featuring the Harlem Globetrotters.
Nice.
Neat. This tape came out in 1989.
Woo.
So have not watched that yet. Globetrotters will come back in just a second. This one I'm going to give to you, Adam, because there it is, the CBS Fox Monday Night Madness, the very best of Monday Night Football, 20 years.
Wow, yeah.
So since you collect the CBS box, and now you can see there's more right here. So 8 Million Ways to Die.
Yeah,
On
cool.
that for you. On a very nice copy of Iron Eagle.
That looks good.
Yeah. And of course, if you see the shadow, you know that's Adams.
Gotta grab it. Thank you.
Gotta save all those. I was really surprised to find this one for a quarter. Scooby-Doo meets the Harlem Globetrotters.
Oh, nice.
Hey.
Good find.
I don't know what year this tape was released. I didn't really look it up, but you know, obviously that's one of the original. I think it's the part of the Scooby-Doo Mysteries, maybe, or
Yeah, the
where they
movie
had all the
series.
celebrities, you know. Yeah. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Pizza by the Shred. There's, I think, a few episodes on this one. Exclusively manufactured and distributed by MCA Home Video Canada, is what it says. So Adam and I are going to fight over that one. This one was great. This one was great. An episode of the Dukes of Hazzard.
That's great. Yeah.
Never see that. Road Pirates is that episode. I'm going to turn around here. We've got one of my favorite movies of all time, Major League. Had to pick that up. One I've only watched recently, Summer School. Missed me altogether back in the day. I just watched it like 2 months ago, so I picked that up. And then now I have the first two Crocodile Dundee movies. Thank you, Patsy, for that. And then the only DVD out of the ones I had to pick up, in Living Color Season 1, the DVD set. I love that.
Yeah, those are really rare because they're just out of print. Like
that's right.
And they're
that's
not
right.
streaming anywhere, and that's a good thing because they're not acceptable for the 21st century. But yeah, that's awesome.
That's right. So there's a little bit of my media that I picked up. Kevin, you've got some over there, some VHS tapes?
I can do media first.
Okay.
All right, let me rearrange here.
Unless you want to, whatever you
I'm already there. I'm already there. All right. So, how do I word this so it doesn't sound like it's on an episode of In Living Color? A lot of refugees have been brought to this area of the state and have done a lot and improved a lot of things, but it also means you find weird stuff in the thrift stores now too. And I'm like, this is odd. Someone somewhere else in this country or another country is going to want this stuff. And if it's cheap enough, I'm just getting it and seeing what happens later. So I will not be keeping these, but I was too curious about the Billy Wilder, I believe, Korean series of American movies on DVD.
Okay.
So they're all from this company, Billy Wilder. But first we have The Apartment, starring Jack Lemmon and Shirley MacLaine.
Okay.
But, translate and all, I gotta like get out. They're all region 2, so this is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
But I had to. It was just so weird. Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau and The Fortune Cookie, which might be doubly offensive in a way there.
Yeah.
Jack Lemmon, Shirley MacLaine, and Irma Dose. And then Marlene Dietrich's the only one I recognize, but Witness for the Prosecution. So I'm going to just put them up and see what happens.
Interesting.
But I was just too curious. Anytime I'm seeing like certain foreign language ones right now, I'm grabbing them just to see what happens. Speaking of offensive, though, this like I mean it this time. So Adam, this it's been mentioned a little bit in Wizards. Very little though. Didn't quite cross over with everyone. But I grew up with WPIX. And a lot of times when something would be coming out in theaters, if they had something they could throw on syndication to get some more ratings, they would. So when Michael Keaton Batman was out, they threw the Adam West Batman on for like a year or so. So when the Warren Beatty Dick Tracy one was on, they threw on the Dick Tracy animated series. Now, have either of you watched this?
Yeah, I have a DVD copy, a different set, but yeah, the series.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's so offensive. It is so offensive. They shouldn't. When was Tracy? 89? 90?
Yeah.
90.
Yeah, 90.
They should have replayed it then. Like, I remember watching it then going, oh, this is wrong. Like, this is not holding up. But so Tracy doesn't solve anything himself. He calls a variety of assistants to do it, the cases for him, and still against like Flat Top and, you know, Prune Face and all those. But it's more Tracy as like the crypt keeper bookending it. But
Gotcha.
one of his assistants is a horrible Asian stereotype. Ridiculously offensive. Cannot believe they got away with it then. Can't believe that they aired it when they did, and can't believe it got released on DVD. But no, I mean, who's really paying attention to Dick Tracy?
What year was that released? The original animated series.
God. I don't know, and a bunch of my things are blocked off here.
Was it 80s or 70s?
I think it was late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah.
Okay. There. Yeah.
Yeah, then the animation style seems it too.
Mm-hmm.
All right. A little better though. I'm hoping. I'm very curious about this. I was very excited to find this. I didn't even know it existed, but we have The New Adventures of the Lone Ranger and Zaro, Volume 2.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, I didn't even know about this. It looks like it actually looks fairly good on here.
So they're together, or is it two separate shows?
I don't know yet. I haven't sat down to do any of it yet. I literally just found it. I was out this weekend during a wrestling weekend there and found it. And I'm super curious. If I open this and something's missing, it's gonna be so bad. Okay. It might be Lone Rangers on one and then Zaro's on the other based on this. So I'm guessing maybe it was like a half-hour thing, 15 minutes each, kind of like Hanna-Barbera would do with various cartoons.
Gotcha.
In fact, it's volume 2, though. I'm really curious. And it's about a little over 6 hours. Content.
It's a lot.
Yep. Last one, I had to open it up. Found for $1. Like, hey, any random, you know, stuff like this is $1. And it was a bunch of like old VHS. So you see like a lot of workout tapes, stuff, you know, that no one cares about. And I know no one knew what this was. And I knew that's why I was sitting there with everything else. But I knew what it was.
The kickboxing.
My kickboxing workout, hosted by Medusa.
Oh, wow.
Of WCW, also known as Alundra Blaze in WWE.
Oh, wow.
And currently one of the agents and writers for NWA. So
and
it
former
is her,
monster truck driver.
Yep. Yep. So it's her leading the kickboxing workout.
No kidding.
Now, I can't find it on eBay, on nothing. Like, no one has it. And it was just sitting there sealed. I mean, like, I think it's from when she was in Japan, because there's a lot of, like, just her wandering around towns and being famous and stuff. And she was way more popular in Japan than in America. So I'm guessing it came from that, and then they translated it, brought it over or something. But it's cheesy, it's dumb, much like, you know, we've seen some of the workout videos before here.
They all are. Yeah.
Yep. I've been debating it. I've been debating if I found one, and I found this, and it fits in my wheelhouse. This counts as wrestling collection, not as fitness collection. It's not a new collection happening.
Justify it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's terrible, it's ridiculous, but I've always been a fan of hers. I think I've always thought she was really cool. So yeah, I'm sure people are like, Medusa, what a stupid name for my kickboxing instructor. Oh, I'm not going to buy this. Positive people didn't know what it was. Super happy to find that. Right, that's my DVD. That's my video lot.
Cool. All right,
I gotta say, Kevin, we gotta work out a trade for that Return of the Killer Tomatoes from last episode. We gotta talk about that.
Oh, I'll totally.
Yeah. But I want to start off just with the DVD, because I don't usually pick up DVDs but occasionally, like, especially at the Goodwill that used to carry VHS and no longer does, I'll take a look through, and I know that there are some DVDs that are out of print that make them a little bit rare. In this case, just a little bit, but I found Kevin Smith's Dogma. Okay, which I don't know why it's out of print. I don't know if it's for controversy's sake or just the studio's sake, but it's like the special edition. It comes looking like a Bible, like it's got
Oh, wow.
it's got all the inserts for like movies and all the other brands inside. So I decided to grab that because I figured with Clerks 3 coming out right now, somebody's bound to be interested in finding that.
Adam.
Yeah, you? So we can do the trade. Got it.
Smith and Weinstein were forming a deal because the Weinstein Company owns Dogma still. So any streaming rights, any DVD rights, whatever, were done. So they were writing up a new deal for where it was going to go next. And that's when Harvey Weinstein fell. And now it's just in limbo. There's no plans. No one knows what's going on for it. So
Really?
that's print on streaming. Yep. I have one copy on VHS, both versions of the DVD, and I think there might be a Blu-ray too.
Wow. Well, that's cool. Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. But, sticking with my beloved VHS, I did find a few Turtles tapes. You find a lot of these out there, but I didn't have this one yet. So I was glad to add that to the collection. I have this one, but somebody wrote on it, like Patsy with your tape there, Jason. So glad to have one that's a little more clean. Also, sticking with the same thing here, both of the Mouse on a Motorcycle, Runaway Mouse collection here.
Nice.
They're part of the ABC Saturday Morning or ABC Adventures collection, but I remember these playing on Saturdays and being like, wow, cool, Fred Savage in a movie. It's not the Wizard. I grabbed this just because I've had the first two for a long time, but I hadn't had 3. So I have Lethal Weapon 3, but my favorite thing is just that they put with Joe Pesci. Like, it's just written in. Like, that's hilarious to me.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He's in here. Let's put it in there.
with Patsy.
Yeah. I found also a couple music tapes because I always like to grab these when I can. So there's a Stevie Ray Vaughan, which is all his music videos, which was very interesting to see the music video style. And then U2's Rattle and Hum.
I saw Rattle and Hum just this last weekend, and I should have taken a picture of it, but I figured you might have had it already. So
I thought you were going to say you saw it in theaters. Did you?
No.
Okay. This is one that I remember. I don't know where I saw it advertised, if it was like a Disney Channel preview week or something, but Simply Mad About the Mouse. Do you guys remember this?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So this is like contemporary artists covering famous Disney songs like Billy Joel, and LL Cool J and Rick Ocasek in the Cars. Like, it's wild. So they released it as an album, and then they all got to do music videos. So that was a neat one to find. Yeah. In the vein of Kevin's last tape there, at one of the I was literally like at a lake camping, but then in town they had a thrift store. My mother-in-law's like, I'll take you, let's go check it out. So I found this tape, How to Protect Yourself, but specifically against weapons. Okay. And this is Master Sai will tell you how to defend yourself against weapons. The sad part is, like, the tape is in great shape, the box is in great shape, but it plays like all like warped. Like, and I don't know what the problem is. So I'm going to see if I can find a way to make it play properly, because I don't see any damage to the tape or anywhere. The spools, like, so I don't know if it was always a bad tape, and that's why it's at the thrift store.
Is it flipping? Is it fuzzy? Is it?
It's basically like there's just static all the way across the screen. You can see what's going on, but then it's like, no. So I think something's wrong with the spool where it's not turning at the proper speed or something. So this was an interesting one because I've seen plenty of Bible Man tapes out there featuring Willie Ames, but Bible Man Jr. Okay. So this is for kids 5 and under. So simplified adventures of Bible Man. So that was a fun find. And then just a couple more here. This one I found at a Goodwill when I was passing through town on a trip, and this is called Chameleon Street. This was a winner at Sundance in 1989. This was like this big deal movie that was like, you know, directed, starred, written by, produced by this guy, and it's based on a true story, all this stuff, but it's a semi-rare tape. So it actually goes for around $25 or so, you know, like when selling. So I was like, okay, that's cool. I watched a little bit of it. It's got an interesting flavor to it. I'll just put it that way. It's like, okay. Last two here, I found some sealed tapes. And so this one was fun. The first Harry Potter film,
Nice.
but it still has the price sticker on it, which is always extra cool. So that was nice. But then the last one here, I was extra excited about because it's The Little Prince. And I used to love this show. I love the theme song, watching it on Nickelodeon back in the 80s. So to find a sealed copy of The Adventures of the Little Prince,
Wow.
I recently found a very early copy of the book, like that it was based on. So kind of fun to add that to the collection. But those are my VHS finds for right now.
Nice.
Awesome. Yeah, good haul there. All right, I'm going to do my music next. These are not really rare or anything. My son and I might be taking a road trip together. So he has a CD player in his car, and I've been throwing him all kinds of CDs. I told you he's playing Beastie Boys. Yeah. So grabbed a couple that I enjoy. There's DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. He's the DJ, I'm the rapper. Simple Minds. This one is Once Upon a Time. It's one of my favorite albums ever. Found a couple of what I normally collect. Singles, of course. How about Nelson, After the Rain? You remember Nelson? I was telling you guys maybe a while back, I found a VHS tape of Nelson that was like, they wanted $40 for it because it was sealed. Like, no. So I'm pretty sure, yeah. I'm pretty sure mom had that one. This is a fun one. Haven't found many 45s in 45 picture sleeves in stores, but I did find this one from Sesame Street. How about the Cookie Monster Disco?
What? He's like full out George Clinton. He's P-Funk.
Right, man. Right. So opens from the top there, nice cardboard sleeve. So the Cookie Disco and We'll Do It Together are the two singles off of this one. So that was great. One of my local Goodwills, I saw the cover and was a huge fan as a kid, still a huge fan of the cartoon, and had to pick it up. There it is, the Pink Panther by Henry Mancini. You know, going through these really, you know, like the 40s and 50s and 60s records, I'm just kind of, but then when you hit something like this, you're like, ooh, and a pop culture character, love it. Still got the original sleeve in there, so that was $1. That was nice. And the rest of mine are actually LPs. Not something I normally look at because I'm looking to find them on the cheap. I'll just be honest. And usually the ones that I want, you can't find on the cheap. If they've got a record booth, they're $20-$30 for some of these. Not this one though. This one was $1.50. There's DeBarge, Rhythm of the Night. Yeah, cool. Good 80s band there. Loved their episode with Miami Vice. These ones I showed Adam, and I was originally going to say we'll work out a trade, but they're so scratched up that I'm not even sure. I haven't even tried to play them yet.
Yeah.
But when you see Weird Al Yankovic, you buy Weird Al Yankovic.
Absolutely. That's rare. That's cool.
They're to be stupid. I got these for $2 a piece. The sleeves are in there, so that's nice. But yeah, I was in this booth. He had a mishmash of stuff and had some wooden boxes with the LPs in, and they were all alphabetized. And I always go for like the end where they have like the various stuff. That's like the first thing I go to. So I'm flipping through XYZ, you know, and I'm finding these, and I'm like, yes, just for the covers alone, I'm gonna have to like hang these on a wall or something, you know, just to display. So a couple of Weird Al records, and then one I've wanted for a long time. And again, I like to find stuff in the wild. I could have bought this 50 times over at Walmart or online somewhere and paid $20-$30. I found it for $4 in that same booth, and I'm sure the guy did not realize what he had, or was just wanting to get rid of it, because a really good copy of this goes for like 30 bucks. But there's Thriller, you know. Gotta love the fold out cover. Really nice copy of it. You know, it's I played it the other night. We were jamming out to it, and I was like, I'm never gonna find something like that again. You know, I'm trying to find Purple Rain, or, you know, an album like that out in the wild, and less than $10, $4 for that. I mean, come on, man. You never find that. So I was running really good on Saturday. I found those, and my wife had ran off with the cart. I immediately found her. I'm like, all right, put these down here, you know, hide them, you know. I don't want people, yeah, I don't want people coming up and snatching them out of our cart, you know. Really good. So that's my music. Kevin, what you got next?
I actually I have one thing in music that I'm gonna switch over. So because of you, I'm looking at the records. I don't have a record player. I am trying to not go down that road, but I am now tempted to look through, and I never find anything ever. It's all like old polka music. You know, it's gospel and choral and stuff like that. It's just nothing I want. But I saw this today, and I'm like, well, that looks like me. Blood Rock 2. I've never heard of this. I've never seen it. I knew nothing about it. So I'm pulling out my phone, looking up what I can. Rock band. This came out in 1971. They're from Fort Worth, Texas. Side 2 has a song that charted called DOA, which it charted because it was very controversial in 71. It is about a car accident, and there's sirens, and there's descriptions of bodily injury and stuff like that. If anything, this is like early metal.
Wow.
And it's super weird and all. So it's beat up. It was like $2. And I was just like, I'm too damn curious. I will never find this again. It was the only rock album in 3 stores that I went to. In my recent, I was like, I'm getting it. I'll figure it out later. Maybe I'll get a record player later. Maybe there's one like somewhere in storage or my mom's attic or something like that. I feel like there were 3 at some point when I was a kid, but maybe she got rid of them. But I was just too curious. So I brought it up on YouTube. I'm like, oh yeah, this seems like me. This absolutely seems like something that, and that's the fun thing. And actually, it showed up as a Facebook memory. Apparently I asked this to people like 6 or 7 years ago. Because we're all about the same age. When you discover something that's been around as long as you've been alive or close to it, and you're like, why did I never hear about this before in my life? It's been there the whole time. So that's a recent one for me for that. All right,
you wouldn't be the first person to buy an album just for the cover either. Trust me, I've done that many times over.
Absolutely. All right, how do I want to do this? Okay. I'll do it that way. Did I confess to you guys I've never watched a single James Bond movie?
I don't think I'd heard that. Wow.
Probably at one point, I think you have.
Yeah, I think when I filled in for Mickey, we talked about it briefly.
Could be, yeah.
But I found if I wanted to start reading them, I could. Because I found
Oh, nice.
So I have no idea what I'm doing with them, because I might love it. I might be like, oh, why did I wait this long? You know, but I was like, I got to get them. I think they were $1 each. Wow. So we got You Only Live Twice. We got Live and Let Die, which is the only one that looks different, but it's also a movie cover. So it makes sense. Thunderball. Dr. No.
I love when they write in Sharpie right on the cover what the price is. I mean, come on.
You know about when I found comics and they did that? For every one of them? Ticked me right off.
Yeah.
On Her Majesty's Secret Service and The Spy Who Loved Me.
Nice.
So
Nice.
I'll probably hang on. And I mean, for now, I'm hanging on and figuring out what I'm going to do with it, but I really don't know. Two random comic ones as I was going through. This is the Comics Artist Showcase from Showcase. And so far, a quick flip through. I don't think I know anyone, but I might. But from 86, black and white one, and really just giving people, I've got to make sure whatever I show is safe. Nope. Really just making sure, like showing what people can do for their art and inking and all. And a lot of this, I think, pops better in the black and white too. Same place I found, I don't need the receipt, The Comic Book Story of Beer. Now, I'm wondering if there's a bunch of these, like The Comic Story of Baseball. The Comic Story of Pro Wrestling is really good.
Yeah,
I've got that.
It's cool.
But I mean, it's just full blown, like through history, very extensively researched and all. Like, it seems like a joke, but it really isn't. And I mean, I'm not like a craft beer person and all that stuff, but I'm curious about. I think the history through comic perspective I'll enjoy. I'll do this one first. I've said many times before, I love that She-Ra cartoon that Netflix did, and it ticks me off. There was no merchandise for it at all. There were 2 figures, and they were both Super 7, so they're $200 each.
Holy crap.
Yup. But I didn't know they did a comic. OGN original graphic novel, so not single issues for it. I don't know whose sticker that is, but wherever the person got from before they donated it. But it looked great. And honestly, considering what the cartoon was and stuff, it was probably marketed to little girls, and it was in that section of a bookstore or whatever, and I never would have seen it. But I'm thrilled. Anything I find for the series, I'll grab.
Yeah, that's cool.
They're so little. And then I got one turtle thing too. Found Turtles Escape from Dimension X.
Oh, great.
Nice. Yeah.
Yep. Because I hated these guys when I was younger, but now I have an affinity for them. For just here, let's grab the random teenagers from another dimension and throw them in the show.
Yeah. They
So
were
it looks
annoying
pretty
as
good.
crap. I've got several of those in that series. I'm not sure if I have that one or not.
No, it totally looked worth it to grab too. I'm like, this looks like loads of fun. 50
Beautifully
cents.
illustrated.
Yeah. All right, that was all the random book ones I found.
Okay.
As I'm getting rid of them, let me bring more into my house.
I have a couple. Yeah. I have
It's
a couple
sick. It's a
things
sickness.
here, and then I'll get into some books. So first up, I was able to get the best of Bryan Adams. So you wouldn't know it here until you flip it over and you sort of see him there. So I was like, okay.
I've got that one.
Yeah, I figured you would. This one was interesting to me. More Dirty Dancing. So
they did a follow-up. Yeah.
So just more hits from the 60s,
Right.
This was a fun one, finding Belinda Carlisle's, Heaven on Earth, the full album. So that was nice. So obviously I've heard that single, but I haven't heard her other releases from that. And then this one, staying in the 80s girl rock bands, the Bangles' first album.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, and it's not like fantastic. Like they really needed Walk Like an Egyptian, I think, to get your attention, but it's a good start. And I have their third album. I just need the one in the middle that was the popular one. So if you guys find it, help me out there. But then also in the vein of a couple books that I found, this was really cool. The novelization of the pilot of The Strange World of Alex Mack on Nickelodeon, or The Secret World. So I don't know if you remember that one from the 90s, but with Larissa Olenek, but that was a big one for me at the time. then The New Adventures of Johnny Quest. I keep running into merchandise and stuff based on this 90s reboot, and I didn't remember it at all, but it's got the Cartoon Network branding and everything on there. So
I've opened a pack of trading cards. Yeah.
Yeah, they pushed that hard when it came out.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I wonder how I missed it. And then I also got the Flintstones movie Storybook. So that's awesome. It's completely just, pictures from the movie itself. And then this is something that my buddy Jeff, aka @nlogan77 on Twitter, he collects these, and I've been trying to keep an eye out for. Like, he has basically the whole set already, but you guys might remember Sweet Pickles.
I'm debating buying those. Next time I see them, I'm getting them. I want a collection so bad.
Yeah.
Damn it, both of you.
So I was able to pick up a nice stack, and these are in great shape. I've picked up like one or two in the past, and they had like scribbles all over them, probably Patsy's kid. Patsy, your recurring character now.
We definitely need to work out a trade, because I am dying to get all these. I've got 17 of the 26, and I'm going to skip ahead. I'm going to pause you just for a second, because you've got Sweet Pickles. I found the bus, but the bus, I lost the stickers.
Oh, but
so,
wow.
This is something they always advertised when I was a kid on television. And basically the bus is just all of the, I saved the stickers. I'm sure there's repros out there, and we'll talk about that later, that you can get for this. But this inside had all the cards and the games with that just glorious artwork, little board games and little things to cut out. And I saw it, and there's a little bit of writing in there, but for the most part, I've always wanted the bus. So I'm going to have to find a place that has those stickers and try to get that, because I love Sweet Pickles so much. That's a very fond memories as a kid.
Definitely up for trade. Yeah, we'll talk.
Yeah.
And then the last two things here is in the realm of comics. I did get a heads up from my my fellow retro collector here in town with me. And he said, hey, there's a new store that just opened up a couple months ago. They got comics, they got action figures, they got video games. It's all retro stuff. And the owner's super cool. I went in there for the first time. So I was just going through the 90s comics, a lot of 90s comics. Didn't have much time, so I grabbed what I could. But the first thing I got was the Batman Returns adaptation. I wanted it for my birthday celebration, and I just didn't grab a copy in time. So now I have that, which is great. I had it as a kid and lost it. I don't know what I did. But this was the one that caught my eye the most, and that was the Arachnophobia official movie adaptation. I didn't know that existed.
No idea.
It's pretty funny because the guy doesn't look anything like the star of the film. I was going to say Jeff Bridges, like not Jeff Bridges, Daniels. Yeah,
Jeff Daniels. Yeah.
So they didn't have the likeness rights in that. So and then just on the music side, because I was started with music, I want to wrap up. This is not music itself, but it is music memorabilia, and I hope I can get this on camera. But I was able to pick up a New Kids on the Block, sleeping bag. Right? All your favorite New Kids for your slumber party, So there they are. And yeah, this is fantastic. I mean, obviously I was a big New Kids fan back in the day. I bought the merchandise. I never had the sleeping bag. I wasn't showing up, till sleepover.
Did you take it on your camping trip?
I know. I thought about it. I got to show it off in a video first before I even consider my kids taking a rest inside. But yeah, anyway, that was just a super fun find because New Kids on the Block merch, I don't see it very often, but at this new store that I was just telling you about, they had all the dolls in the box.
Oh, wow.
So check that out and see what they were asking for when I go back.
I'm not sure I'm going to top a New Kids sleeping bag. That's insane.
If you don't top it, you get inside it.
Well, true. All right. I'm so mad that you stole my thunder on that Sweet Pickles bus. But anyway, all right. So I've got a lot of books. I'm going to try to get through these quickly. And most of these were for a quarter. So it's insane what I found. And I'm going to end on one that's kind of special to me. So I have seen this movie, Jumper. Never read the comics, but I really enjoyed the movie with Hayden Christensen.
Yeah.
And I found this little, graphic novel. I don't know what year this came out. Probably early 2000s, maybe 2006. So for a quarter, I'm gonna grab something like that. All right, we have X-Men, the Xavier Files.
Cool.
From 1992. This is has like the bios of the characters and black and white illustrations of all the X-Men characters in here. So pretty cool. I love my comic strip books. Seeing this really excited me because I forgot that they actually had a whole comic strip series based on U.S. Acres.
Oh.
So yeah, that's your little comic strip books that we always find. I find peanuts, like they're, I don't know, they have a million copies of those. How about the Rugrats movie novelization? Gotta love that. All right, I found 3 puzzle books. One I'm hoping Adam does not have. So I found the Jurassic Park puzzle book. It's got color pictures on the inside. It's a little water damaged, but yeah, all kinds of just little, crosswords and word searches, word games. Found the E.T. space puzzles.
Whoa.
From 1982. There's a lot of them that are already colored and stuff in there, but that was just a rare one. I mean, for a quarter, you're going to pick up something like that. Do you have this, Adam?
I don't. Whoa, okay.
There you go. We'll put it in your Dick Tracy collection there. So this is the Dick Tracy Fun Book of Puzzles, Games, and Jokes. Joke book. Okay. Now, somebody was already coloring in all your characters here. So there's a little bit of writing and coloring in here, but a lot of them that are not been used before. I was trying to find where the jokes were to tell
That's
you.
what I was going to say. I want a sample joke here.
Let's see if we can find it here. I'm not finding like quick jokes, more of just like paragraphs and stuff. So you'll have to just discover that later yourself.
Yeah.
All right. Hardly ever find the Choose Your Own Adventure books. And of course, the one that I find, I actually already have. So I found the Secret of the Ninja, which is book 66. A couple Star Wars books from the 90s. This one is just an adaptation of A New Hope. And it's got some pictures in there, classic Star Wars. And then the Glove of Darth Vader. Had not known anything about this one, but the kid, whoever was reading it, left his little bookmark here, and it's the file card for the probe droid. So that was tucked inside. Thought that was fun. All right, how about Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson? They're basically biographies in here, but they had published this before. I was reading on the inside cover, and then they republished it when they met in the finals in 1991. So that was part of that. All right, now let's get on to the storybook. Adam, do you have this one?
No.
The Rocketeer, and these are just movie scenes, really, not illustrated, but just taken from the movie. So you got the storybook of the Rocketeer. Was this a?
I feel like that's a book and tape, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it was. So it was part of a tape, cassette tape came along with it, like an audio book. So I'll send that your way. I sent several of these to Karen. I think 2 of them for Christmas one year because she was a fan of the movie. But I found 3 of the 4 Santa Claus the movie books from McDonald's.
Cool.
So for a quarter, like I said, you're going to pick these up. Do you remember the Flintstone Kids?
Yeah,
Of course.
Flintstone Kids Haunted, a sticker storybook. So what are we always looking for when we find the sticker storybooks? Are the stickers in here? Well, a few of them are on the front. But they all are on the back.
All right.
So got some of the stickers in here, and these are just wonderfully illustrated. So never see the Flintstone Kids. This one got me excited because this is one of my favorite Christmas movies and probably my favorite of the Christmas Carol. The Muppets Christmas Carol Storybook. This one got me even more excited because I did not know this, like the size of this thing too. Did not know it existed, but there is Labyrinth.
Whoa. That's got to be rare, man.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Just the sheer size. So, you're used to these like little square ones.
Mhm.
And this one is a lot wider, almost like a wide panel or a widescreen. But it's got some really glorious artwork in here.
Jeez.
So for a quarter, I was like, oh my gosh. I was not a huge fan of the movie as a kid, but I've grown to love it more and more. All right, I've got some coloring books. Mickey Mouse, Christmas Fantasy. And these, that one is not colored in at all.
Oh.
I told you guys I scored pretty big with those, what was it, Rainbow Bright and My Little Pony coloring books from back in the day. Mickey's 12 Days of Christmas. If you can find them, actually, this is a storybook. This has got you're singing along with the song, and then you got illustrations in there. Papa Smurf's coloring fun. This one does have some markings in there, but there's a lot that is not colored in. So, just finding those just takes me back. The weirdest thing that I found. All right, do you remember the Popples?
Yep.
Sure, yeah.
So I found 2 Popples books. These are hardcover.
Wow.
But what caught my eye, it says Popples Annual.
Huh.
And I'm like, what's going on here? Well, over in the UK, they actually released annuals that were hardcover. And these are the UK edition.
Oh, wow.
So 2 Popples annuals that let me pull out there's some page they're telling you about the actual characters, but then you've also got the comic.
Oh, that's cool.
Comics in here as well. So 2 of those that came over from the UK on the Popples. And then this one was great. So going back to the comic strip books, this is one from my childhood, and the cover has come off, and the reason why it's from my childhood, there you go. You remember those stickers with your name on it? Had to plaster those all over everything. I found a
little different though.
A little bit different. That's right. This one, well, it's almost like a different publisher almost, or I don't know. This is cover printed. This is in USA, so just a little bit different. So now I got a better edition of the book that I can actually flip through and remember reading. Family Circus was one of the ones, back when newspapers were a thing, and Dad would always save me all the comic sections and the little mini page on the weekends to do, that sort of thing. And Family Circus was one of those that I remember as a kid. Even you remember the cereal? What was the cereal?
Morning Funnies.
Morning Funnies. Yes, I for the longest time saved a box, and I have lost it somewhere with the flip open cover that had all the comic strips on there. And Family Circus was one of those. But finding that book was like, oh my gosh, there it is. There's my book.
About every 2 months, they did a new box of Morning Funnies, completely new box. You would have new comics to read for the duration of the serial. Also, the Family Circus at the time, because Bill Keene's son does it now, at the time, the ones in the books were not the ones in the paper. His thought was you've already completely new. His thought was you've already read the ones in the paper. Why would I charge you for things you've already read? So he made brand new ones for the collections. So it was only when they did like massive collections, like comic size or, bigger, or that Labyrinth one, when they did the big collections, that's when he would include the newspaper ones as well, because it'd be like, oh, here's this weekly series, here's the Sunday ones, here's whatever. But for the little ones like you have, they were all new at the time. They've been recycled over the years, but at the time they were all new.
Very cool.
I was huge
Thanks
on
for
that.
information. Yeah, I mean, I knew nothing about that, so very cool. All right, Kevin, back to you. Last round, right?
We're doing 3 or 4?
Actually, well, that was the beginning. I guess I started things out. So yeah, you guys got 2 more
Okay.
rounds to go.
Yeah, you got 1 more. All right.
Got 1 more.
Okay. So I don't really do board games. But I'll notice them when I'm out. And sometimes it's okay that like I got a couple of wrestling ones, random stuff like that. So I was out with my friend Maddie that I used to do podcasts with, and he found this first. And so it's Video Village, but from the look of everything, this is before video.
Yeah.
So we're like, what the heck is it? And not like most of it's there, but not all of it's there. I don't want it to all fall everywhere. So I got the money, I got the dice that's locked up in this thing. I got the yellow cards, which go into those black boxes, and you draw as you move around the board. So what it was supposed to be, because we found it on YouTube, you go around the board, all 3 levels. And if you land on certain things, you end up in the jail, and then you get to hop over to this nice area and all. It's supposed to be that you're watching the contestants walk through a village on TV. So that's the Video Village. It only exists for the game show.
Oh.
And they did, so as you're going through, the first 2 levels are just to collect money to like build up. And then when you're on the last one, here, I got switched around. These little things are supposed to be storefronts for the village. So if you land in front of a storefront, you get to grab the key in front of the storefront, and you get to get whatever that store is selling for the day if you win. So people are going through, and it's like, oh, I grabbed the storefront for the appliance sale, and I got like a new fridge. I grabbed it for this one, and I got new, dishes or whatever.
And it's based on a real.
It's a real game show. It's all in black and white. Some of it's colorized. It's all on YouTube.
Wow.
But we watched a couple of them after getting this just to see what the heck is this show. And it's absolutely ridiculous to figure it out too. I wonder if it's on there. When you get to the shops, lose a turn, free turn, safety zone. I don't know what safety zone means because you're just gonna roll again anyways. I guess like your opponent couldn't knock you away or something. Pay $25 of the money you won earlier, or you lose a turn. So you can get rid of that. Lose a prize or go back all the way back to the bench. Like, it's so complicated. And then there's 2 finish spots. So we were watching it, and it's like, okay, if she rolls a 1 or a 2, she can finish. But if she rolls a 3, that's too far. And so you can't like continue on. It has to be a 1 or a 2. But we saw people all the way at the end having to go all the way to the beginning again.
Oh, wow.
And when you turn around, until it says turn back around, you're facing the wrong way. So you got to keep going that way until you land on one that you can turn back around. Overly complicated for the game, which is probably why none of us have heard of it. But it just looked so different and interesting. I was like, no one has this. And then
gotta be rare.
went through like a 2-3 hour YouTube rabbit hole of old game shows. That was disastrous.
Interesting.
I did have some forever ago that I had to donate and get rid of because I was told they took up too much room, and I regret it. I had like Casper and like, all sorts of like 80s character board games, and they're gone. So apparently I'm starting with this 1959 or whatever the heck it is.
I've got too many board games.
Yeah, so on my side of things with a board game, I'll just bring this up here. I found Bradley's Ghosts. Okay, now this is a game, I don't know how many people know about this game, but you basically have glow-in-the-dark little ghost pieces, and you move around the board. My buddy Jeff that I mentioned earlier, one of the VIPs, he actually knew this game, loved this game. The only thing it was missing was the instructions. So he sent me a copy of the instructions so I could learn how to play it and everything. But the thing is, there's a story with this. So I went to the store. Right underneath this was another game. I sent him a picture. I was like, do you know Ghosts? He's like, yeah, but underneath it was Fairy Tale Forest. And I'm like, Fairy Tale Forest? And I'd never heard of it. I passed it up. I just grabbed Ghosts. I was like, that'll be fun to play at Halloween. He's like, you got to go back to the store and get that. Just for resale value alone, Fairy Tale Forest goes for some bucks. So I run back over to the store. I run in. I go right over there. And of course, it's gone. I go up. As I'm going out the door, I see the person at the counter, buying it. And I was just like, it was only because this was $1. So it would have been $1. Wow. And the value I could have gotten, just resale on that one. I was like, oh, and something told me I should grab it. And the problem was I texted him in the store and it didn't go through till later. And so he would have given me a heads up earlier and I could have had that. But, that's how it goes with the thrifting, every once in a while. But on the other side of things, I've been finding a lot of fun puzzles lately, like vintage puzzles, and having a great time putting them together, So right here, I found a vintage Cinderella puzzle. So we have this one here. I found an Underdog puzzle.
Oh, wow.
Like same era as that Dick Tracy TV series, yeah. I'm pretty sure. So that was fun. And they're complete. Both of those are complete. I found Ninja Turtles. Look at this one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Mikey surfing, battling a Triceratops. So that one's complete, in great shape, super bright, vibrant, everything. This one, another Ninja Turtles with the party van.
Oh.
Okay. This one is missing one corner piece. And, so that was unfortunate, but we'll see if somebody still wants it just for the box art, But this was the one I was most excited to find. A vintage.
Nice.
1990 Bart surfing, okay?
Whoa, mama.
Yeah. And that is complete. I put that together too. So that one's in great shape. And debating if I'll save everything else for the last round. I think I will. I'll save the rest, and that'll be my wild card round. So
well, you're having better luck with puzzles than I do, because I usually see stuff like that. I'll get it. It's missing one or two pieces, and I get frustrated. And I'm like, I'm not buying a puzzle ever again. And then I find stuff like those Watto puzzles. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go for it. It's only $1. And, finally get lucky. But all right, so I've got some just crazy, weird stuff. I don't usually go through the party supplies, but I did for some reason and found some fun vintage stuff. Cannot wait to show you. So our Hallmark here went out of business, I don't know, several years ago, but they sell those little itty bitties. So I found a Superman itty bitty. Those go for like, I don't know, $8 or $10 on eBay. You find it for $1. Nice little, put it up here. This was fun. I found I don't usually collect playing cards, but when they got Joe Camel on it, of course,
nice.
The hard pack official playing cards, 1991. So all you smokers out there remember probably getting those catalogs.
Do they smell smoky? Were they from the house of a smoker?
No. Well, this is funny too. They're printed in Canada. So I don't know. Anyway. All right. So this is have you thought about your next birthday party, Adam, and what theme you would like?
Oh.
Because I've got a couple options here, at least to get you started. If you're a fan of Space Jam, there's some Space Jam invitations you can send out and invite your friends. And I've got 3 party bags. Space Jam. So put your little loot bags in there. But I know you're the Power Rangers guy. So the next time somebody sends you something that's Power Rangers, not saying who, maybe a VHS tape or something, you can send them a thank you note.
Oh, wow.
I thought that was hilarious. All right. I don't know why I bought these. So there's a bunch of napkins there, like party napkins and stuff. And they had Super Bowl napkins. So I decided to pick up Super Bowl 41 napkins because you all remember who the halftime was at Super Bowl 41 Miami when it was raining
Oh, that was the Prince one? Cool.
Yeah, so I have Super Bowl 41 napkins I can celebrate while I'm listening to Purple Rain.
Yeah.
This one was just, I laughed out loud, and my wife was saying, "What is so funny?" I found Batman and Robin gift wrap.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm just random. So yeah, next time you're in the thrift store, go through the party supplies and cards and stuff. Maybe you'll find some fun bits and
Yeah.
stuff like that. The thing that just had me over the moon from last Saturday. I have wanted one of these. I had one as a kid. I left it at my neighborhood friend's house, full of Hot Wheels cars, and never got it back. We moved away, and I was so mad. I still resent it to this day. And one of my holy grails has always been to find one of these stow and go garages. My wife said, "What is that over there?" It was on the floor under a bunch of clothes, like a clothes rack, for $2.88. So this was my big find. This is the Hot Wheels. As you can see, it's missing the back legs, but there is hope. This is the Hot Wheels service center that I had as a kid. And when I opened it up, all of the stickers went bye-bye. Except for the one down here with the car wash. But, this is the thing. You open it up, you can keep your cars in here. You have the little pegs in the back to prop it up, so you got 2 levels of play. And it was just glorious. You got little garages to open up here. You got the car wash. You got the for the gas pumps down here. If you're coming down the hill, coming down the ramp, just check your tires up here, on the rollers. Add a little WD-40 to that. The only thing it's missing is the elevator, which kind of stinks. But I was just out to eBay today. God bless the people that make repro stickers, because I've got a full set coming.
Wow.
For this, and 3D printed pegs to put in the back to hold it up. So on eBay, these things complete and nice and good, because you're pushing 3 digits easily. And if you got the box, it's even more. So for the $288 I spent, and about the $20 worth of other stuff with the stickers in it, I still made a deal finding this in the wild and putting the stickers back in. But I bought one Hot Wheels put one out that Target had that was like a reproduction of the Stow and Go garage service station. I bought that several years ago when my boys were younger, so we could play with, because I didn't want to spend like $7,500 on the one that I had as a kid. So now that I have it, I broke it out. My little girl saw it. We were playing Hot Wheels the other night, so it still worked out that I got to play with it with my kids. So that I'm really, really, really excited about finding it for $288. I mean, we were running good, guys, on Saturday. I watch a lot of poker. I found clay poker chips that were just in a bag for $288. Well, these are awesome. These are legit poker chips. And the little platform that you can get, like the cooling platform for your laptop. I found 2 of those for $5 a piece that online I saw new were like 50. So we've got those little cooling pads for our laptop now. Stuff like that. I was like, what else can the thrift store gods throw me today? And, it was really fun. All right, Kevin, take us home.
All right. This is odd magazine things, I'll say. All right, so I couldn't remember if I'd shown this earlier, but then you showed the one, so I'm gonna just throw it in. X-Men Chillers.
No, that's cool.
Yep. Horror story. It's a Van Helsing thing. So there's a poster inside, which is the cover. It's not that bad. There is some art hidden in there, and it is written by Larry Hama.
Wow. Okay.
That's right. Yeah, he did write some X-Men.
Yeah. Was it the same store? Same store I found the game, but different day. But they just had random Mad magazines, so I grabbed them.
Oh yes.
But you don't see them really anymore. Winter 84 special, fall 88 special, fall 85 special.
When I find them, they're like $5 or $10 a piece.
These were, is it still on there? $3.99.
That's not bad.
It wasn't bad. Yeah. So I was like, it's Mad. I'm grabbing it. It'll be ridiculous. I'll get a lot more jokes than I did when I was a kid.
Mad gross outs. Yes.
And superstars. But I got a pretty good Mad and Crack collection going just because anytime I see them, I grab them. These were, so how do I word this without getting in trouble? Since I have to do deliveries now, when I walk into the buildings, I can see all the stuff they're getting rid of for sales or donations or whatever. And so I'm just like grabbing stuff that I see. So I don't know who donated this, and I forget what town and all, but I'm grateful for it. It's not quite Wizard, Adam. It's comic scene.
Hey, nice.
But this was the first, like, I was buying these before Wizard came out. Like they were more accessible. Well, they were out before Wizard flat out, and then they were just more accessible. They're on like newsstands, not just, comic shops.
At the grocery store, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, gorgeous X-Men one.
I have that issue.
The Flash. Wow.
Ooh.
Turtles. My favorite thing about these, though, and I remember to this day, is the comics reporter section. Here's all of the movies and TV shows based on comic properties that are coming. And I guarantee if I went through these, 90% never happened.
Yeah.
90% probably. All sorts of like animated special, movie, new syndicated, whatever it might be. It actually announces Captain Planet here. That did happen.
Does that sound about right, Adam, for your Heroes in Motion segment there?
Yeah, that was the percentage
This is worse, I think, because that's page 1 of it. And then here's page 2 of the tiniest print of here's everything we think is coming. And where it is in the process for it. Punisher release delayed. You're kidding me. Not quite. Wait, is that? No, I'll do this one first. So I don't know. It was superheroes, so I grabbed it, and I mean I know it's ridiculous and all, but this is Captain Super Safe.
Wow.
Free handout from coloring activity book, Captain Super Safe in Adventures of the New York State Police.
What?
Oh,
what in the world?
Oh, there's Captain Super Safe. I had to. I'm guessing this was like handed out at schools.
Right, yeah.
I had to guess. But I mean, like, of course there's no there's no credit. Gotta get that light. There's no credit for, who wrote it, drew it, whatever. But that totally looks like Justice League Unlimited animated style there. Like every bit of it. So I have no clue, but I mean I had to grab it. It's just so stupid. Is this? Yes. Okay. It's funny how we ended up with like some of the same. Woody Woodpecker color by numbers, though.
Nice.
It doesn't look like it's been done at all either. I couldn't find anything for it, and it's, I'll say, the newer Woody Woodpecker look. So it's just like a little more friendly looking.
Mm-hmm.
For a little, like, still old, but like not the original version. What's that? Like Buzzy Buzzard, something like that. But look, it looks pretty well done and all. This I was so happy to find, and you can date right away when it came out. It is a coloring book for Fantastic Four, but not our usual four, featuring Herbie the robot instead of the human toy.
Yeah, whoa.
Such a stupid, obscure thing. And I was so excited for it. And, I mean, I'm sure it's whoever was in the office that day to just draw, the panels and stuff. but it looked clean and neat and everything for it. And I was just so happy to find that. This is 79?
Wow.
79, yeah. And I'm not even sure who the villain's supposed to be in here. And then, perfect timing. Someone didn't know what they had. I don't know how. But what a great time to find it. The Marvel original graphic novel for She-Hulk. And it is like, I must be dense. I mean, I know, we all know I am, but I didn't realize, let me get like a good She-Hulk one. I didn't realize that's John Byrne that did this.
Oh, yeah.
Because the John Byrne run of Sensational She-Hulk is amazing. It's so, that's where all the fourth wall breaking originally comes from and everything. I didn't realize he did the original graphic novel too, though. I didn't have a clue for that. And yeah, like he's gonna watch this. Is John Byrne one of our fans? Seeing the VIP section. But like, I don't like what he's doing now, but I love this era of John Byrne. I don't think anyone could touch him at the time. Like, it was just so amazing. But I mean, this I'm keeping. I've been getting like I'm trying to get all the She-Hulk for Byrne, and I'm getting the current run, and this stuff's getting so pricey right now too with the show. It is getting crazy. If I didn't find this how I found it, I would not have been able to afford it, I'm sure. But just super excited for that one.
Awesome, yeah.
I honestly think, joking aside, I think some places see this and go, oh, that's trash, and just toss it. Whether it's because, you know, it looks like she's in a bathing suit, whether it's a comic, whatever. I really think some places just go, oh, that's trash, and get rid of it.
Possible.
But my benefit.
All right. Well, as I close out here, I will tell you, I found just like I say, so many weird odds and ends in my travels lately. So speaking of like correct timing, but like the week after the Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers movie hit Disney Plus, I found this little bag. And it is a vintage Chip 'n Dale bag. It is just in great shape, but it must have been like a giveaway with a subscription to like Disney Adventures magazine or something. Because when I looked on eBay, there were 1 million of them for sale. So it's definitely not rare by any means, but I love that logo. My kid loves playing the video game with me on the Nintendo. So I'll probably just go to him and he can fill it with toys. Staying in the Disney vein, found some vintage wall art here. That's right, a little made in the USA Mickey Mouse framed, vintage brass frame, and everything.
Yep.
It's from that like 86, 87 era, which is like my favorite Mickey Mouse era. I had another one of those back in the day, and my daughter knocked it off her wall and it broke, and the glass broke and it tore it. And I was like, oh, it's so sad. So I was glad to find that one. Also in the vein of wall art. So again, my mother-in-law, she goes to garage sales, even though my wife is completely against them. And so she was out with my niece and they were running around and they texted me. They're like, hey, we found this. Do you want it? And I was like, I will take it.
No kidding.
Yeah, so this is this use your illusion, like, graphic piece here, but it's on a piece of wood.
That's
weird.
So this is a vintage thing. Like, it feels like something that would have been given away at a carnival or something. Like, I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's really interesting, and it's got like their brand, like, because I think they had their own record label there, Uzi Suicide or something. So yeah, so that's on there.
Ring the bottle and win a Guns N' Roses album wood piece. Yeah. On my camping trip again, we stopped at a garage sale and they had some interesting stuff. There was like a boom box I almost picked up and a couple other things, but this was what I walked away with. An Acclaim Bigfoot handheld. Oh, yeah.
It works. Yeah. It's showing up. Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was super cool to find that in just great shape, not corroded or anything.
You can never find those, man. Never.
Yeah. I have one for Bartman from The Simpsons. That's my other in that style. So I was glad to have that. But my last thing here was again in my travels as I was out and about visiting a new Goodwill for the first time. I came upon this Muppet Babies toy, and they're in a hot air balloon. You know, you got Piggy.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. This looks to be probably 1985, 86, something like that. I don't know, but it also works. If I get this going here, yeah. So they wave at you, play most annoying song. Yeah, but my 3-year-old loves it. He loves turning it on and just carrying it around, and we're like, any vintage Muppet Babies I grab, if it's storybooks, if it's whatever. So to get that, I was very excited to see like a working toy from the mid-'80s that's electronic, and again, not super gross and corroded. So
yeah,
very, very fun.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Well, that's it then, huh? Anything else? Nothing. We were all tapped out. That was pretty epic for our August/September finds. So, all right. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up then. Of course, subscribe to TRN TV, and then check in the description below if you're watching on YouTube. We've got links to my channel and Kevin's channel and Adam's channel. You can go subscribe to all of us. And again, we're out and about. I meant to grab one and I forgot. We have Thrift Store Horde clings now that we'll be able to put on the back of our cars as we're going about, or like I mentioned to you guys, we can slap it on our Goodwill window on the way in. And I'm going to be giving away some of those. So, and I'm going to send some out to you guys. But we have our own little Thrift Store Horde cling to pass along with our logo on it. That should be fun to get. And if you're a VIP of the Retro Network, you're going to get one here shortly. So sign up if you want to, patreon.com/the Retro Network in September, and you'll guarantee to get one of those, plus a bunch of other stickers like a holographic Wizards sticker in Box Office 30 and the Retro Network logo. I threw some like scratch and sniff stickers that my daughter had in there. So all kinds of fun stuff in this little pack if you'll come on over and support us in September. But that's going to do it. So guys, it's been fun again. I enjoy the show very much. And I'm always like, why do I have to hold on to this stuff for a month before I can start? I might have to break that rule. We might have to break that rule at some point and leave a little bit back. But it was very hard. And luckily, like this past weekend was when I found most of this stuff and didn't have to wait very long to show it off. But now we can go show off on all of our social medias. Go find us, Mask Library, Hoju Koolander, RD80s, and you'll be seeing more of this stuff. So, all right, till next time, Jason here for Kevin and Adam. We'll see you on the Thrift Store Horde.